Will my computer slow down if I install multiple operating systems? Many of my friends have said that installing multiple operating systems on a single PC slows down individual OSes because the total RAM gets divided among the OSes. Is there any truth in the above statement?
It depends on how you install the multiple operating systems. There are generally two options. Installing for dual boot. Installing using a VM. Dual boot installation just places the other OS on free space on your hard disk, so it will use hard disk space. You may need /VAS to create new partitions, but since in a dual boot only one OS will run at any given time, then no memory or CPU is being used by the other OS. Virtual machine, VM, is a software program which emulates the hardware of a PC. If you use a VM to install your second OS, then both OS can run at the same time, so you can have a Windows PC which has Linux running in a VM window, and you can use both at the same time. Since you can use both at the same time, they both will use memory and CPU, and then you may see the computer slowing down. If you don't know anything about how to use a VM, then it is unlikely that you have one, but rather that you have a dual boot system, in which case, no, you will not see the system slowing down.
No, as long as the OS are installed on dedicated partitions/disks, they will not affect the speed of each other. Yes, there are factors that will cause an OS to go slower. If the partition contains many files, say you install both OS on the same partition, really not recommended as files will conflict. Another more likely factor is that the first partition, and the first file, is stored on the outmost rings of the disk, so the HD head needs to move less, bigger cells, more data per cell. Any file/partition further in will get increasing head moves versus bytes read. So if the second operating system is for example 50% out on the disk, the speed will be slightly lower. But it should be said that due to various reasons such as cylinder skew and caching, this is not noticeable. So the answer is, no. The operating systems will not be noticeable slower. As others have already pointed out, running OS as virtual guests will slow down both host and guest OS. Best advice, make sure you have plenty of RAM in host OS. The lack of plenty of RAM makes your computer slow. I myself run Windows 7 with 8 GB desktop and 12 GB laptop, and I've just placed an order for 16 GB for my desktop. That is a bit over the top for most users, but beneficial for my use.
The OS you are running will not slow down. Only the hard disk capacity will be decreased. Theoretically, your OS may slow down if you have a running program in the background which scans files on hard disk, because this program will scan all files from all operating system. But this is just a theoretical slowdown which you will not notice. If you plan to have different OS in your hard disk, Windows, Linux, macOS, then Windows OS will not see them and will not be slowed down at all. You may also consider having virtual OS via VirtualBox. Myself, for example, have more than 10 OS and one main OS. When I need, let's say, Win 7 for design, I start its virtual machine and have one system running inside other system. I have 8 GB of RAM and I give 4 GB RAM to each system, and the virtual OS is not slow at all. Just to mention that these virtual OS are not suitable for gaming.
If you are using virtual OS, then your PC will decrease its performance, but if you use dual boot system, then it will work normally.
除了有些杂乱的，反应是